Welcome back to the Map for College learning community. My name is Ernest Manelli, founder of Map for College. This video will explain my philosophy about the importance of designing a communication strategy as a student, and that there should be a degree of intentional progress and intentional goals with regard to your communication strategy. For example, everyday communications include text messages, emails, phone calls, correspondence, US mail. We are all involved in the communication world to some degree with our loved ones, with our friends, with business colleagues, schoolmates, teachers. And the degree to which a student at the secondary school level can really think about designing and shaping a communications plan for short-term and long-term benefit can be really very helpful in terms of the overall arc of your secondary school career, and also helping to create an arc of connection between your adolescent reality and your soon-to-be adult world responsibilities. So in other words, if you can develop some really thoughtful communication patterns at this stage of secondary school, those will carry through, and those good habits will carry through into college, into your future career opportunities, internships, things that you would want to prosper in your life. So I am a big believer at the high school level. I think that when a student is, let's say, sophomore, junior in high school, I think a student should design a simple business card. Doesn't have to be very fancy. One student with whom I'm working from the class of 2024, the high school class 2024, I've encouraged him to create a business card that says his first name, his last name, and then college class of 2028. Like, in other words, I'm not sure that creating a business card at the high school stage, reinforcing the fact that you're a high school student, is the most beneficial pathway. I think a more beneficial pathway is to create the impression that you are seeking an opportunity at the next level. Now, there was a student with whom I worked, and she was actually high school class of 2014, and so she has since gone through college, and she and her parents and I are still connected on LinkedIn because we're family friends. And at the time, this young lady put her first name, her last name, and instead of putting high school class of 2014, instead of putting college class of 2018, she put future pediatrician. And wouldn't you know, she went pre-med, she's in the medical field, and she's made great progress toward her career. But not every student is going to have that level of foresight that I'm going to be a doctor, I'm going to be a lawyer, an engineer, an architect, a teacher, a social worker, whatever the case may be. So I would just recommend keeping the business card simple. First name, last name. If you're high school class 2024, just put college class 2028. If you really have a true directed, guided passion towards something, you could put something like future engineer, pre-medical candidate, future pre-med candidate, whatever the case may be. But I just think you want people to think of you as next level. And then email address, phone number, or you could even just stick with email, depending on how you feel about the level of communication. Certain students at a certain age can create a LinkedIn account. So some students have a business card with just their simple contact info through their LinkedIn profile. However you want to do it, I just think having, 50 to 100 business cards on hand through, and I'm not being promoted or sponsored by these companies, but I've used them before, Vistaprint, Staples. Locally in the South Shore area, we have some family-run printing shops that are quite proficient at creating business cards. Even if you get 50 to 100 business cards at the high school level, that way when you go and communicate with colleges and when you meet area admissions representatives that come to these college fairs, they give you a business card all the time. You can give them a business card in return. When you write a thank you note to someone who has given you an informational interview, about a prospective school, has given you insight about a prospective career. This might even be a family member or a family friend who is a colleague of your mother or father in the business world, whatever the case may be. If you are reaching out to people in your network for informational purposes, thank you note, U.S. mail, postage stamp, include the business card. And that way, the person who is the recipient of that communication will have your contact information, and then when that person reciprocates contact, there will be a two-way correspondence that you will be able to maintain for beneficial purposes, mutually beneficial purposes. Now, technology tools. So the business card is a simple step. That's like the low-hanging fruit, what the consultants will call it. Technological tools. Some students are more high-tech than others. Some students have a very smartphone-driven existence. Other students, it's more on the iPad. Other students, it's more on like the online calendar or Gmail or some form of record keeping. Some people have a journal. I actually keep a paper-based calendar, and I have a calendar on my Network Solutions email account and my personal Proton Mail account. So I do a little bit of both, the tech way and the old-fashioned way. Whatever your preference is, just think about maintaining a form of record keeping that allows you to keep up with each prospective college, each prospective internship, each prospective potential career pathway, so that you are creating an intersection of viable information. You're connecting thematically with people and prospective opportunities that can really give you a head start on your foundational career planning and educational career. But also, I want you to have enough of a connection between the themes while also having the ability to keep track of everything. So, business card, keep it simple. Record keeping, keep it streamlined. And then you might want to actually map out. Actually, you might want to sit down and create a visual brainstorm or a visual map of the people in your network. And actually, one student with whom I've worked in previous years who's now in college, she and her family, we actually sat down as a team along with her siblings, and it was sort of like a family plus consultant like team meeting, and everybody had a pad of sketch paper, and they just said, okay, for the benefit of this, the student at the time was in the 11th grade, said, for the benefit of this student, let's think of all the prospective contacts that we could have. And this student had very specific prospective career and educational goals. So each of us, younger siblings, parents, I was involved, the student was involved, we all created a little brainstorm, and then we shared out, and then the student actually did a record keeping of like, okay, these are top priority communications, these are more long range communications, and this student created online folders and calendar invites, and the student is very logistically inclined. And so by the end of the team meeting, this student had a game plan for how to space out and pace her communications, the ability to do outreach and conduct different levels of communication with people who could help with the educational pathway, and also bringing value as this student has increased her learning profile and gone on to college. This student herself has become a resource to her siblings, to friends of classmates, to former, sports teammates and current intramural sports teammates. So I just think, have a business card, create a streamlined record keeping, brainstorm with your support team how to access and increase your support team. And I just think if you have a communications tree or some form of communications priority, that would be very helpful and very beneficial academically, personally, and professionally. So thank you for taking the time to watch this video. You can reach us at guidance@mapforcollege.com. Our website is www.mapforcollege.com. We're happy to help you along your journey, and we hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video.